Hey guys, so it just took me like 20 minutes to realize why I don't like any of the, setups of my camera. Because I have a giant forehead. So it's not the camera's fault, it's just that I don't like my forehead in like any position. It just like is the whole fucking show is my forehead. Hey, this is ThatSynGirl, by the way. For those of you that don't know, me and my giant forehead are here to talk about who the fuck knows what. I was just thinking about Bill Nye the Science Guy while I was setting up my tripod or my camera holster and thinking about my giant forehead. And they're not correlated whatsoever, but they are now, and they are ever going to be related throughout history and time because I have put them together in your mind. ThatSynGirl's giant forehead and Bill Nye the Science Guy. What relation do they have to one another? Who knows, but they exist now in a place, a unit together, in the compartment in your brain forever. Forever. It's now out there in the ether. So now we are ever related. Bill Nye the Science Guy and my ThatSynGirl's giant forehead. So I have now started timing my things. So this is like 9 minutes. This is Beast Boy. Or not. You couldn't see his whole face, so fucking copyright or something. Who knows? I've got like 10 minutes, I think. I'm gonna try to be brief, but that's why I have timers. Instagram Live is sketchy, only because I've lost a call on it, and then I couldn't save it, and it was a good long video, so now I'm like sketched out about possibly losing a call, or a video I mean, while on Instagram Live. So now I'm gonna start trying to post these on YouTube, which means I'm going to have to like drastically lessen the length, which is good for everybody involved. I think that's a great thing, because every other one of my lives some of them are like 82 minutes, which boggles my mind that it's even like possible to post something that long on Instagram. Like, consider me boggled mentally. Listen here, I know I'm a little bit fucking weird, but whatever. So I was thinking, I made notes. I'm making notes as I go because I want to share these thoughts with you, and I'm excited to talk to you guys, and I always have all the stuff I want to talk about, but as you all know, it's all just scattered. So now I'm attempting to contain it, so I can now share all of these thoughts with everyone that wants to partake. So this is an open conversation that I have with anybody and everybody that wants to participate. So I love everybody's feedback. I don't love everybody's feedback. Like, there's a lot of you that are probably like trolls, or people that are just going to be mean for no reason. And then there's always going to be people that talk about liking turtles in the comments. Like, there's always just going to be a bunch of you. And that's great, and I love it all. I can't get to everything, right? Like, I can't even like get through all of the commentary in your guys' like little comment section, let alone get through all of the fucking sifting in my own mind to like deal with any of that. So whatever's in the comments may or may not actually pertain to my personal ThatSynGirl thoughts. I guess, like, you know how they say in the start of the movie, like, viewers in this blah blah production are not reflective of the blah blah blah, the company and this and that. So that's what I'm trying to say. I also feel like I have a hair on my chest, but I can't find it. Doink. Like one of those cartoon things where it's like doink, doink. Just that one. Like the kind that comes out of a baby's head. Like a little cartoon baby. It's like, with the thing and like one tooth. Classic baby cartoon illustration. Okay, so let's see. I don't even know how long I have left. 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Time goes by rather strangely when you're not paying attention to it. I need my glasses though, unfortunately. So I wrote, then you have to rearrange things to make it work. Like Will Smith moving the table to take the paper test in Men in Black. Yes, he made a scene, but also yes, he got chosen for adventure. He stepped up, he changed his surroundings himself. So what I meant by that, oh my god, I'm so excited to talk about it, and I'm trying to keep up everything at once. I'm like, whoa. Okay, so what I meant by that, Will Smith, a couple of you guys in my comments the other day in my live video were talking like really sad stuff. You're like, I miss yesterday and I wish I could be a kid again, and I miss my last, my early 20s, and I'm sad about this and I missed out on that, and like blah blah. We know everyone's fucking sad, guys. Fuck, we get it. Everybody feels like they missed out on shit, and I'm not suggesting that it's, oh boo-hoo, woe is me. That's not my point. My point is I'm thinking about this because it's such a common feeling. It's such a well-known, understood, man, I wish I could be a kid again, or blah blah, stuff about reminiscence and nostalgia for the past. And it makes me think about why people start to grow up and start to feel stale in their world. It was because I was washing my cat's water bowl, okay? And in my mind, I was just like rinsing it out. I wasn't putting my hand in the bowl, and I was just like, I hope it's clean enough. But in my mind, I'm like, it's not gonna be clean enough. It's gonna be slimy. But if you actually give a shit about making the bowl clean, you actually have to clean it. And that means you have to get your hands dirty. And in my mind, I'm like, I just want to rinse it. I don't want to get my hands wet. And that is why I said, I don't want to get my hands wet. Well, then you're too comfortable. That was my thought. That is how we can know if you're missing out on having more adventures in life. Your active willingness and to participate, rather than just being a spectator that fills in the circle around the action. So instead of being the dude with his hands in his pockets, like watching like this, you can actually tap in and be one of the guys, throwing the punches and like Sherlock's ding ding, and you're fucking watching these things happen. You can actually get into it like Fight Club. Why everybody's so fucking into Fight Club is because everybody participated. That is probably one of the main reasons people absolutely fucking lose it about Fight Club, is because the everyman, the lazy, the fat, slobby everyman is what they're suggesting, participated, and then they got in shape. They ended up becoming more powerful, and they became more confident, and they got to have and be part of something. And that is what I'm saying. So, just like the quote I wrote, then you have to rearrange things to make it work. I hope I have enough time, God. This is a lot of pressure. I have 3 minutes and 15 seconds to get my point out. Fuck. I could never be a professor because I'm like, everything. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is people that are sad and they miss the old days and they wish they could do this and that. What I'm saying is, when I was washing my cat's bowl, my mind was like, I don't want to get my hands wet. And that was the other half of my conscience was like, then you're too comfortable. And that is my point. I think that people that are, that when they grow up and they get, life becomes stale and they feel like they've missed out and like they're too old now, or they've got a job now, or they've got kids now and they're missing out and they're just grumpy and they're just like on the couch and they've got this giant mound of a beer belly and they're like 23, but they act like they're 50, they act like, 50's not even old, but like they act like they're just some defunct thing. And I'm like, guys, I get it. It's easy to fall into that slump. It's very, very easy to fall into that slump. But it's also up to you to rearrange things to make it work. And what I mean by that is if you seek adventure, if you seek excitement, if you seek freshness and newness in your life, you physically have to participate. You have to change your surroundings in order to change your surroundings. It sounds simple, but it's just so fucking obvious that it's so overlooked. And it's easy to overlook, and I do it all the time. I'm like, oh, that's so obvious and easy. I should have done that 5 fucking decades ago. Like, it's that easy. But it's also something that you just forget again because it's so obvious. The obvious stuff are the things that we end up losing sight of so quickly because we just innately know it, so we take it for granted that we just know it until we forget that we know it. There's a lot. My point is, like Will Smith in Men in Black, I think one of the reasons we all love him so much and he's so funny and so fun to watch is because he takes action in his surroundings. And the reason that people like Will Smith's character in Men in Black, why those people are chosen for adventures, are because simply they stepped up and volunteered for the adventure. They actively chose to alter their surroundings. Just like in Hunger Games, when Katniss Everdeen went into the Hunger Games, spoiler alert, she physically volunteered. She literally said, I volunteer, and then they chose her instead of her sister. Oh no, my timer. Oh, I'm just gonna have to keep cutting this stuff up. She physically volunteered. And Will Smith, you know, the funny thing about, you know, the scene with Will Smith when he's in the interview with all of the other people, and they're all given a piece of paper, and they're all just like shuffled around, and they're just like, okay, where do I go? What do I do? They're just put in this little box. Everyone's quiet. No one's allowed to talk. Being very quiet. No one has told you to be quiet. But yet that's just kind of like the hush that's come over everyone, and we just kind of like, oh shit, we're being quiet. Let's be quiet. Someone has to be quiet. And then you get this paranoia, like, why are we quiet? I don't know why we're quiet, but I have to be quiet. What happens if I'm not quiet? If I speak up first, I'm gonna get looked at. So people are so stressed out to not be the one that gets noticed. And then that's why they also look down on people that do make a scene, because they're like, no, you're gonna cause me to get looked at. So that's just like, I think that's human nature. People are just so, we're social animals. My body hurts a little bit. But my point about Will Smith in Men in Black is he is the person that got chosen for adventure out of all of those guys, because he's the one that took his piece of paper, he looked around, and he's like, okay, I guess we're doing this then, okay. But then he's like he doesn't, it's not working, and he's just like, but then he looks around and he sees a table in front of him, and he's like, that would make everything so much easier. So guess what he does? He steps up out in his own surrounding. He physically chooses to alter his surroundings by standing, right? He stands up, walks over to this object that's in his surroundings, and actively chooses to move and change his surroundings. He physically alters his present existence actively, with an active choice of, I'm going to move this table. It makes a lot of noise though. It's like, and yeah.